Well, it's time to get some of the body panels out of the basement. This is the left side door, driver's door. And the thing that I'm amazed about this door is the only imperfections in it. I don't know if you can see those. There's a couple little dings. There's one there, one right there. This thing is virtually rust free. And if anybody knows anything about doors on old cars, they usually rust out right along in there. And I was very fortunate to have almost a mint door, and the passenger side door is just as good as this one. This is the other side of the door. Get a little bit better look. And I really dumped the epoxy primer down on the inside of this door. This door was media blasted on the outside and all the flat areas with plastic media, and then it was blasted with fine sand in all the nooks and crannies and anywhere that's beefy enough that could take it. And then when I got it back, I used my small pot type sandblaster out in the driveway with tarps, and I did every nook and cranny that I could get into on this door. So I spent an hour or so just doing the nooks and crannies, getting all the rust or anything out that was left by the big blaster. So it's a clean door, and then after blowing it all out, and I DA'd the outside, and this thing got two heavy coats of PPG DP epoxy primer. So it's been sitting in the basement now for about 3.5 years. So I think the primer has been cured by now. One other thing I'm doing is that I'm making sure that these backup bolt plates are free. They're not painted shut. And I'm also going to run a bolt or a tap in those holes so I'm not fighting this thing when I'm mounting it on the car. So that's what I'm going to do next. Well, I got my big bad block out here, and I just scuffed it just lightly in what appeared to be a perfect door. Now shows a lot of the factory problems. You can see how wavy this is here, and there's no physical damage. Well, now the problems are really showing up. What looked like a perfect door before, these are a lot more severe than I thought, and I'm actually going to have to do a little body work on these. Last thing I want is a thick layer of Bondo right on the edge of my door, so I got to work on those a little bit. And these showed up pretty decent. They're very, very shallow skim coat of work on that. The only thing I'm a little concerned about, you can see right where the chrome strip was. I'm a little nervous about putting any Bondo right at where that strip bolts up, but I think we'll be all right. I just hit that real light. This is epoxy primer. It's not really made to be sanded, so but I just wanted to scuff it and see where I'm at. So looks like I got a little work to do. Well, I'm kind of preparing to install the door to get a trial fit. I got my door latch put in there. One other thing, I put the latch in the door here for test fit. One side I got these nylon bushings, and the other side I got these brass or bronze bushings. And I hadn't been able to find any online or any of the aftermarket Buick restoration parts people, and you all know who they are. And none of them really had anything. Found some on eBay. They claimed they were the correct ones. Obviously, I did the measurements and they weren't even close. They wouldn't work. So I went on a website and I found these bushings here that says for a Chrysler van 1978 to 82. I was a little concerned because when I measured the outside diameter of the original bronze bushing, it was about 414 thousandths. And these, the spec that they gave me for these is like 418 thousandths. I thought, well, that's not going to work. But I realized these have already been driven into the hinge and they had shrunk down. They actually fit in pretty loose. So by the time you drive these in, they fit nice and tight, and the pins fit pretty tight. Actually, a little bit tighter than I would like. With a little lubrication, I was able to just tap the pin in, and the hinge is super tight. I mean not tight that you can't move it, but I mean there's no up and down wiggle at all, and that's exactly what I wanted. So I got a whole box of 25 here. I'm going to use probably 8 of them, so I'll have some left over. Okay, I just installed that pin, and it's pretty snug. The pins actually didn't show much wear at all. So this is the top left-hand door, driver's door. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I think it's gonna really tighten up the door a little bit. Of course, you know those doors, by the time you get the glass in them and everything, they're pretty heavy. So you want to have good bushings and pins in there. So that's cool. I can get these mounted and put my door on and see how she fits. Yeah, I got both hinges temporarily mounted. And I think I'm going to flip the door on and get some bolts started in that. Well, I managed to get the hinges in and hang the door for the first time since I've had it all apart. Got a long ways to go. Nothing seems to fit right. I don't have the body bolted down in the frame yet, and I don't have the car sitting on the ground, so not going to get too excited until I get to that point. But it looks like I might have to do a little work on my rocker panels. It still doesn't look like I got way too much gap. So we'll see. I'm not going to get excited yet, but at least it's door hinges, bushings are in, and the hinges are in. Doors just temporarily mounted, so I can get a feel of where to go next. So that's kind of where I'm at.